Well, it's a very warm welcome and thank you for joining me on this independent off-tube studio commentary. It's a 3 o'clock kickoff at the New Den as Millwall take on Birmingham City. A mid-table clash in the Championship. 10th place Millwall take on Birmingham City in 14th place. Just a point between them and just one goal between them in the goal difference. A very similar start to the season for the two sides in terms of where they find themselves at this moment in time. Millwall just struggling for a bit of form right now. 4 games without a win for Gary Rowett's side, although in fairness 3 of those were 1-1 draws. 1-1 draw away, 1-1 draw at home to Derby, away to Middlesbrough, and also a 1-1 draw at home to Bournemouth. That would have been a good result for the Lions, but then a 2-1 defeat at the reverse against Hull City last time out, whereas for Birmingham City they went 3 games without a win. Before that, a 1-0 win against Blackpool last time out. The game is underway and it is Millwall trying to push forward early on with a ball over the top here. One for Afobe to chase, gets on the end of it as well, trying to get away from Sanderson, gets brought down, and that is going to be a free kick to Millwall right at the edge of the area. Dion Sanderson just caught a little bit out of position there as Afobe he let the ball bounce, and then Afobe was getting past him, and Afobe, I mean, he wants to foul there really because he knows he's got 2 other Birmingham players getting closer to him, but at the same time didn't force Sanderson into committing that foul. But it is going to be a free kick inside the first 90 seconds here for Millwall on the right hand side. Just see this set piece, and then I'll run you through the 2-11s as well. But this is a good early opportunity here for the home side, looking to try and get a ball into the box. Looks like it is going to be a left-footed in-swinging cross here from Malone. He's got plenty of players to aim for. He needs to keep the power down in this one because he's very close to the edge of the area already, and he actually lays it off at the edge of the area here for Jed Wallace, who then tries to curl one towards goal. And Millwall are appealing that it should be a corner. They feel as though there was a deflection on that effort from Wallace, but neither referee nor linesman have spotted that. If there was a deflection, we'll see from this replay. Possibly. It's still not clear after that replay whether it did deflect off Jordan Graham or not. But the Millwall 11 for this afternoon is Bartosz Białkowski in goal. It's a back 3 of Jake Cooper, Sean Hutchison and Murray Wallace. The 4 across the middle are Dan McNamara, Billy Mitchell, George Evans and Scott Malone, with Jed Wallace, Tom Bradshaw and Banika Fobe as the 3 up front. For Birmingham City, Neil Etheridge is in goal with a back 3 of Dion Sanderson, Mark Roberts and Christian Pedersen. The 2 wide men are Jordan Graham and Jeremy Bella. 3 in midfield of Jordan James, Ivan Sunjic and Riley McGree, with Troy Deeney and Scott Hogan as the 2 up front. Millwall on the attack again with a long ball over the top here for Bradshaw. Bradshaw brought down at the edge of the area. He was looking for a free kick. Not going to get one though because he was offside just before, or just as that ball was being played to him. Flag goes up with a few seconds delay. But it is going to be a free kick to Birmingham City, who haven't crossed the halfway line yet. So this game, one of the last ones to get underway this afternoon. Full programme in the Championship. In the earlier game, West Midlands derby there, Coventry City losing 2-1 to West Bromwich Albion. Grant puts West Brom in front before an own goal from McFadden made it 2-0 before half-time. McFadden then scoring at the right end towards the end of the game, but West Brom hanging on for all 3 points. No goals as yet in the 3 o'clock kickoffs in the Championship. If anything does happen, I will let you know. Also, 3 Premier League games available on our service have all just kicked off in the last 5 minutes as well. Newcastle against Burnley, Southampton, Brighton and Wolves against Liverpool in the early game. Bit of a surprise in the Premier League with Chelsea losing 3-2 away at West Ham. Late winner there from Masuaku coming off the bench and whipping a crossing which wasn't dealt with particularly well by goalkeeper Edouard Mendy. But back here at the New Den, it is Millwall now trying to push forward down the left-hand side. Graham just puts the ball out for a throw. Scott Malone now waits with it here on the left-hand side. Got a few options here, just goes short towards Evans. Back towards Malone, loses the ball this time, and then Jordan Graham clears it long down the right-hand side. Doesn't quite get through to Troy Deeney. Sunjic then hooks it up in the air. Bit of a head tennis in midfield, but it is Birmingham City in their change yellow strip this afternoon who come away with it now. A long ball for Scott Hogan to chase, but it's going to be Jake Cooper that gets there first. He rolls that one back towards Białkowski. Long clearance now from the goalkeeper up towards the halfway line. And then played out slightly askew there by Sean Hutchison, out for a throw to Birmingham City down the left-hand side. Chance now for Liboya's side to try and keep a bit of possession early in this game. Mentioned neither side in a great form, and now of course Lee Boyle will be hoping that win against Blackpool is the start of something here, because his side have just been a little bit off. They had a really good run of games before that, run of games where they didn't win for 3, and that was where they lost at home to Reading, they lost away to Hull, and they drew 0-0 with Coventry before that win against Blackpool last time out. We're just having a 5 minutes, we're having a round of applause now after 5 minutes for Arthur Labinjo-Hughes. Was a Birmingham City fan. Lovely gesture here that the ball's been actually put out of play, so we're not even going to play during this minute. We're just going to have a quick round of applause for the tragic story that came out of the West Midlands, the court case being completed this week. And a lovely gesture. Of course, with him being a Birmingham fan, you would have expected it here at this game, but it's actually being done right across the grounds. We saw a minute's applause in the earlier game between West Ham and Chelsea as well. Lovely moment here as the ball was put out of play with both sets of fans and the players, all the staff, the officials, all just applauding now. And we are back underway. Ball back with Bartosz Białkowski, and the goalkeeper just rolls this out towards Jake Cooper. Cooper now striding forward, clips the ball over the top here. This is one for, well, it looks like it was going towards Bradshaw, but it's kept alive here on the left-hand side by Malone. That's good work, though, from Jordan Graham. Although he doesn't do too well with the clearance, it goes straight through to Afobe, who's charging into the box now. He lays it off for Scott Malone. Malone puts that ball into the penalty area. Wasn't too far away from reaching McNamara, but Millwall recycle the ball, and it's back with Afobe. Now Malone on the left-hand side. His cross gets a slight deflection off Graham. And it's kept alive. Afobe there on 2 occasions, just dropping a little bit deeper. He is the striker here for Millwall, but he was just able to drop off and just keep the move alive. And now it's Hutchinson arriving. He rolls the ball down the right-hand side in towards Wallace. Wallace's ball, Jed Wallace's ball, that was towards the edge of the 6-yard box, looking for Bradshaw. Ball cleared into midfield, but Birmingham don't have an outlet. The ball is cleared into the midfield for the 3rd time, and it goes straight to a Millwall player. It's with Scott Malone now. Rolls it down the left here for Murray Wallace, who joins the attack this time. He just steps away from Jordan Graham, puts a cross in, but Graham's back at him, and he charges it down. It's out for a throw to Millwall down the left-hand side, but a much better start here from the home side. Looking to put pressure on Birmingham City. Now by Malone, back to Murray Wallace. Played back towards Cooper now, just inside the Birmingham half. Pressed on there by Troy Deeney. Deeney again, trying to get at Hutchison. It's good work, though, from Billy Mitchell to keep that ball away from the Birmingham City captain. And Malone now down the left-hand side, runs straight into Jordan Graham. That's going to be a bit of a battle this afternoon, you feel. And ball now back with Murray Wallace, looking to try and find Jed Wallace, or indeed Bradshaw breaking into the box. That's good work, though, from Dion Sanderson. Clears that one up towards the halfway line. Visitors just about keep the ball alive, and it's stabbed through towards Scott Hogan. It was Riley McCree with the pass, but it doesn't quite get through to Hogan. Out for a throw to Millwall now down the left-hand side. So it's certainly been a better start here from the home team. Although referee Andy Woolmer just asking Scott Malone to take a few steps back with this throw. Seems that officials are starting to get a little bit more aware of that. For a couple of seasons, I felt, for the last couple of seasons, I felt that that's probably the easiest defence to get away with on a football pitch, is where you can take a throw on from. You can sometimes take 10 or 12 yards from take it 10 or 12 yards from where it was supposed to. But just recently, the officials have just started to become a little bit wiser to that. And Birmingham now enjoying at least a moment of possession here inside the Millwall half. Here is Jordan James back to Ivan Sunjic. And Riley McCree now over towards the left-hand side here for Jeremy Bella. Steps in on his right, but that's a good challenge, though. A very good challenge indeed there from McNamara to win the ball back for Millwall. And here comes a counter-attack now from the home side. Jed Wallace back over towards the right-hand side. There are options inside the box as the cross comes in. Cut out, though, by the long frame of Mark Roberts. He puts that out for a corner. And a chance now for Millwall to test Birmingham with the set piece. Everyone slowly arriving inside the penalty area now. It's just the first time we saw any kind of possession from Birmingham inside the Millwall half. They lost the ball quickly, and straight away the home side on the attack. And we've seen the big men arriving into the penalty area for this corner kick as well. See if it's going to be an in-swinger from Scott Malone. No, it's going to be an out-swinger. It's a short ball, in fact, to Afobe. Then played in towards the edge of the area. Strike coming in. It's stopped on the line, and it's in the back of the net. Millwall take the lead on 10 minutes. They've been promising to do it pretty much since the first minute. It's been a good start from the home side, and Birmingham just couldn't deal with that corner quickly enough, and it's in the back of the net. Millwall take the lead early on in this game, and we'll see what kind of response we're going to see from Birmingham City now, because this was a little bit disappointing, I think, from Lee Bowyer's side. A short corner taken to Afobe. Ball then played out towards the edge of the area. It was Evans' strike that was stopped just inside the 6-yard box. It was actually, I think, a Millwall player. I think it was unfortunate there that Hutchison might have stopped that. But then the second ball drops and it's quickly swept into the back of the net. And it is Millwall that take the lead. And it is Murray Wallace, number 3, that's given the home side the lead. And, not the start that Lee Bowyer would have been looking for, that's for sure. Side have barely had any kind of attacking possession. They've just pretty much been trying to soak up Millwall pressure early on, and you could see that. We've just seen the replay there, the reaction of Gary Rowett and his assistant. They were delighted with that because it was clear that they'd set Millwall up to have a good start, to really press at Birmingham, use that home advantage, and it really has paid off. The question is now, how do Birmingham City respond to that? They won themselves a free kick just inside the Millwall half over on the right-hand side. Jordan Graham is standing over this one. He wants to send this long towards the penalty area, but Millwall are trying to counter that by setting up a very high offside line just to make it that a little bit more difficult. Graham now steps up to this one and sends a crossfield ball over towards the left-hand edge of the penalty area. It's headed away by Sean Hutchison. Drops back into midfield here for Ivan Sunjic. Plays it in towards Jordan James. Back over towards the left-hand side now for Jeremy Bella. Plays a quick 1-2 there with McCree. Didn't have any way to get into the box though, so he tries a left-footed cross from a long way out. It drops to Malone, who chests it down inside his 6-yard box towards Białkowski. He then bowls it out, perhaps a little bit too quickly there for Billy Mitchell, but fair play to Billy Mitchell. He just about dived to keep that ball in play. And then Benik Afobe draws the foul as well off Dion Sanderson, so it will be a free kick to Millwall inside their own half. And Afobe, we've seen him already a couple of times in this game. He's had a bit of almost a playmaker's role in that series of balls into the box from the left-hand side just before the corner. He was pretty much backed off as a midfielder, and then for the actual corner kick itself, even though Afobe on paper is the front man for Millwall, he dropped off. He was nowhere near the 6-yard box, and he was actually involved in playing the short corner out, which then led to the goal. So really good start here from Afobe. Really bright start from Millwall in general. Birmingham City need to somehow respond. That was the first goal scored this afternoon. No goals elsewhere across the games in the Championship. No goals in the 3 Premier League games being played this afternoon. Of course, it's the FA Cup second round as well. We saw Morecambe defeating non-league Buxton in the early kick-off today. So the late game sees Yeovil take on Stevenage. There's quite a few games being played right now as well. Anything particularly interesting comes out of that, I will let you know, of course. But in the meantime, Millwall have got forward. Ball down the right-hand side for Jed Wallace, goes out of play. A Birmingham City goal kick now to be taken by Neil Etheridge. As we can see, Lee Bowyer grew up not too far from here, of course, Charlton youth player. So he would have been very frustrated with how his side have started in this game, particularly with that win against Blackpool last time out. He would have been hoping that his side were going to kick on as we go into this ridiculously busy Christmas period for all teams. Millwall's next game is next Saturday. They play away at Peterborough United, whereas Birmingham are at home to Cardiff City in their next game. But here come Millwall now down the right-hand side with captain Sean Hutchison. Leaves the ball now for Dan McNamara. Plays it inside to Wallace, back to McNamara, looks to get across in. Bella deflects that one. Etheridge is diving on it, and he does dive on it, but he's clearly behind the line by the time he gets to the ball, so it is going to be a Millwall corner. So this pressure from the home side continuing. It was a short corner that gave Millwall the lead last time. I don't think they're going to try the same move again, although it looks like they might be, because there's certainly more players waiting at the edge of the area than there is actually inside the box. So we'll wait to see how this corner kick is going to be taken. 4, 5, 6 players waiting in and around the penalty area. It's a cross straight into the box this time, headed away by McCree. It drops to Malone, who's a long way away from the penalty area. Plays it square now to Billy Mitchell. Back over towards the right-hand side for Jed Wallace, the corner kick taker, but he's stopped this time by McCree. He puts it out for a throw. It's going to be a throw to Millwall now, level with the edge of the Birmingham City penalty area. He's just waiting for a Millwall fan to get him the ball back from the stand there, and he's waiting to take the throw. I think he's going to leave this one for Billy Mitchell. Looks like he's going to try and launch this one into the penalty area. So it's plenty of players to aim for there. More and more teams now using the Delap method of the long throw. I think he's the one who patented it. In the end, it's just all a deception. It was a short ball to Wallace. He then tries to cross it in. It's charged down. A second ball comes in from the right-hand side, and then a ball drops at the edge of the area, and it's an effort there from George Evans, which takes a big deflection. It was never threatening to go in towards goal, but it also means that there was no one in a Birmingham shirt able to stop that from going out for a corner. It's a good start for Millwall continuing. Up to 16 minutes gone. Independent off-tube studio commentary. Millwall leading against Birmingham City by a goal to nil. Corner kick now to be taken by Scott Malone. Looks like he's going to whip this in directly this time. It is whipped in towards the edge of the 6-yard box. It actually hits the side netting by the near post and out for a goal kick. So he really was trying to get that as close as possible to Neil Etheridge's post, but just the wrong side. Tell you what, if Etheridge was scrambling to, he was never that far away from the near post anyway, the goalkeeper. Difficult to judge whether he would have been beaten by that if it was on target. I don't think he would have been. Looks like he would have still had enough time there to make the save, but in the end he didn't need to. It's Etheridge now waiting to restart play. Bowie won't be too happy with this start. I mean, with camera focusing on Troy Deeney. Now, I don't think he's had more than 2 touches of the ball so far in this game, Troy Deeney. And his side desperately need to try and kick on and get a bit more of an attack going. But as I say that, the ball's just played down the left-hand side. And it's straight out for a Millwall throw. Nothing sticking for Birmingham in attack so far in this game. Malone now down the left-hand side, looking for George Evans. He doesn't quite get on the end of that one. It's Sanderson now playing it back to Etheridge, and a long clearance from the goalkeeper up towards the halfway line. Headed forward there by Mitchell. Drops on the halfway line to Deeney. That's his 3rd touch of the ball. He goes back towards Sanderson, who's caught in possession. And that's a shame there, because what Benik Afobo was trying to do was play Bradshaw in straight away, just a little bit under hit. It's Birmingham City fighting to try and keep possession, and they've won themselves a throw just inside the Millwall half, although Jed Wallace isn't happy with the referee. He felt as though it should have been for the home side. It's with Jordan Graham now on the right-hand side. Throws this one into Deeney. Deeney back to Jordan Graham. The pressure from Scott Malone. It's just Scott Hogan waiting in the area here if Graham can get a ball into him. Well, he puts a cross in, but he's overhit the entire penalty area. McNamara then tries to play it away, and as he does so, he runs straight into Jeremy Bella, who then gets brought down. And Millwall were trying to go on the counter-attack. The referee, though, has other ideas. Jeremy Bella was brought down by McNamara, and it is going to be a free kick to Birmingham in a good position as well. Silly from McNamara, really. I thought there was enough scope to say he could have got on the end of that one without committing the foul. Just as his side were looking to go on a counter-attack, all of a sudden they've got to come back and defend the free kick. First set piece that Birmingham have had. It's taken them nearly 19 minutes, but now they can finally test this Millwall defence with some sort of cross. So important that the quality of the ball in is going to be right. It's going to be Jordan Graham with a right-footed in-swinger from the left-hand side. Plenty of players to aim for in the box. Whips that one into the 6-yard box. Good header away though by I think it was Murray Wallace that got his head to that one. There's still a bit of a scramble for it at the edge of the area. It's been won back here by McGree. Dances away from 2 Millwall players, but then runs straight into a third. And it's Scott Malone that dispossesses him in the end. But then Afobe with a poor ball back to Malone. And Millwall have got to do some more defending here as Birmingham come down the right-hand side with Jordan James. Inside now towards McGree. Turns away, but then runs straight into Murray Wallace, and a chance now for Millwall to bring the ball out. It's played down towards Bradshaw, down the left-hand side. He gets brought down by Christian Pedersen. And that is going to be a free kick to Millwall. Bradshaw's not happy there because not only was he fouled, he was actually pushed into that sort of running track that just goes round, that sort of walkway that goes round the pitch there. I think he just about stopped himself from having the equivalent of a carpet burn. Wasn't too far away, and he wasn't too happy there. referee just having a quick word with Jordan Gray. I mean, it wasn't him that committed the foul, it was actually Pedersen that committed the foul. And with a bit of a delay, referee Andy Woolmer does actually show him a yellow card, which I think is possibly right, because it was a bit of a strong collision there from Pedersen. It's a free kick now to Millwall down the left-hand side. It's about 45 yards out from goal. Going to be whipped in with the left foot of Scott Malone. He's got plenty of players to aim for at the edge of the area. And it is Malone puts that ball into the edge of the 6-yard box, headed up in the air. It's looping, but it's into the arms of Neil Etheridge. Comfortable save in the end after that header there from Jake Cooper. Clearance now up towards the halfway line. Bella heads it on, but it doesn't quite get through to Hogan. It's with Mitchell now down the right-hand side. For an early ball was Bradshaw. Runs straight into Christian Pedersen, though. Has to be careful now after picking up that yellow card. On to Millwall now down the right-hand side. It's with Dan McNamara. It's it in towards Mitchell. Mitchell inside now to Hutchison. Just stepping forward. Brings his side a throw off the deflection of Ivan Sunjic. Now down the right-hand side for Millwall. Again taken short. Players waiting at the edge of the area. It's just short balls here between Mitchell and Hutchison. Hutchison now under pressure from Hogan. Hogan dispossesses him, but the pass from Hogan goes straight through to Jed Wallace. And Millwall now back in possession here on the halfway line with Billy Mitchell. Plays it back towards Jake Cooper. Cooper now to Afobe. Under pressure from Sanderson, he goes back towards Evans. Evans switching play now over towards the right-hand side. Players waiting left and right. It's just played back short here towards the edge of the area for Bradshaw. He then goes on the overlap to McNamara. McNamara gets there, but puts the cross in. Diving header there from Afobe, and it's just over the bar. Afobe there showing the referee that his collar's been held onto there as he's been trying to get on the end of this cross. Let's just see from this replay. Nice little one-touch there from Bradshaw. Cross from McNamara. Well, there certainly seems to be a bit of contact there between Sanderson and Afobe. The only thing I would say is at one point Afobe seemed to be trying to hold on to Sanderson as well. It's always such a subjective thing, isn't it, those tussles inside the box. In theory he's supposed to hold on to a player when he hasn't got the ball, but then he's supposed to hold on to him when he has got the ball. But of course it is a contact sport. It's all about how it's done. It's all about how the referee views any given situation. I think with that one, the referee, Andy Woolmer, I'd be very surprised if he'd have given that. Even in the Premier League with VAR, I'm not sure they'd be taking too much interest in that one. Ball now back with Neil Etheridge. Clearance from the Birmingham keeper, headed forward by Jake Cooper. It drops straight to Sanderson. His header then on towards Hogan, who's taken down by Deeney, who tries to shoot from 30 yards. That's charged down straight away by Hutchison, but it's over on the left-hand side now with Jeremy Bella under pressure from McNamara. Bella then rolling this one back towards Riley McGree. And McGree playing it back towards the halfway line for Christian Pedersen. Under a bit of pressure there from Tom Bradshaw. Still keeps the ball alive though. Now it's with Mark Roberts. Forward to Deeney, who's brought down just inside the centre circle. He certainly had a look up towards the referee there, Troy Deeney, but no free kick given. It's Birmingham City trying to push forward down the left-hand side. McGree inside to Bella. Bella then playing it back towards Pedersen, who rolls it all the way back towards his own box now for Neil Etheridge. Options for Etheridge. Could have played it short, but he decides to clear it long into the Millwall half, just over the head of Deeney. Sunjic then tries to chip that to Bella, doesn't quite reach him. Cut out by Hutchison, and now it's with Billy Mitchell. Back to Sean Hutchison, Millwall captain, just in towards Jed Wallace. Pressure there though from Sunjic. He wins the ball back, and now a chance here for Birmingham. Good ball there from McGree to find Deeney. Left-hand edge of the penalty area. Deeney tries to thread that into Hogan, but the pass from Deeney and the run from Hogan, I think both were a little bit off. The pass from Deeney was probably a bit too close to the goalkeeper, and Hogan probably a little bit slow to react to it in any case. We have got a couple of other goals to tell you about in the Championship. Bristol City lead against Derby County. Scott with the goal for Bristol City. Middlesbrough lead against Swansea. And it's Jones with the goal for Middlesbrough. So you now look to adapt under new manager Chris Wilder. It's such a fascinating championship season. So many twists and turns. You can see Fulham sitting in first place right now, with Bournemouth just behind them. West Brom 6 points behind them. QPR 2 points behind them, and then Blackburn and Coventry making up the last two sides in the playoffs. Stoke, Millwall and Middlesbrough just behind them, so it is a very, very tight league. If we take out the top two, there is only a 10 points difference between 13th and 3rd, so it still is a very, very tight division. But saying that, it's Millwall now trying to push forward. Birmingham just seeing a bit more of the ball. Sunic taken out there as that long ball was played forward towards the edge of the Birmingham City penalty area. Etheridge let that one bounce, but it bounced a little bit too far for Bradshaw to be able to do anything with it. It's the Millwall goalkeeper, the Birmingham goalkeeper, I should say, Etheridge, now just waiting to clear his lines. Certainly seen a lot more action in front of his goal in the first 26 minutes. Birmingham just starting to see a bit more of the ball in midfield. They can start to move that into the final third, and the chances should come. Right now they're just struggling to get into that final third, as could have been a free kick there for the foul on Jordan James. I thought he was brought down. Referee doesn't give anything. James now tussling with Afobe to win the ball back, and it's put out for a throw to Millwall now down the left. Scott Malone with the ball to see where his teammates position themselves. In terms of the substitutes for Millwall this afternoon, it's Ojo, Bennett, Kifton, Beld, Pearce, Saville, Smith and the goalkeeper Long. And that is the bench for Millwall this afternoon. And as far as Birmingham City are concerned, it's Hall, Famia, Castillo, Friend, Dean, Jutkovic, Aneke and Truman on the bench for Bowier's side this afternoon. Ball now inside the Millwall half as they look to play out from the back. A bit of a mess there between Cooper and McNamara, and in the end the ball is out for a throw to Birmingham. Jeremy Bella with it, looking for options here. Nobody's gone close to him really. Deeney now just trying to drop in, as is Sunic. The ball goes to Deeney, plays it first time. That's well played to McGree. McGree back to Deeney. Now Sunic in midfield, looking for a bit of space down the right hand side. He plays this one towards Jordan Graham. Graham under pressure there from Scott Malone, taking on Scott Malone. Malone brings him down, and that's got to be a free kick. I know Malone's got a slightly frustrated look about him, but that said, he actually grabs the ball and sort of hits himself on the head with it, so maybe he's showing his teammates and the fans that he knows that was a silly challenge. Didn't need to do it. Graham still had a bit of work to do before he could actually get that ball in, and he's pretty much got a free pass with this cross now, with this free kick after that foul from Scott Malone. It is Jordan Graham standing over this one for Birmingham. He's got a couple of players to aim for inside the box. A few more arriving now as well, including Roberts and Sanderson. It's James and McGree waiting at the edge of the area, but it's going to be Graham now to whip this in towards the edge of the 6-yard box. Good header away though, important header away there by Billy Mitchell. Ball kept alive down the left here with McGree. The pressure from Tom Bradshaw. That's good play there though from Riley McGree, playing it back towards Jeremy Bella. Here's McGree again, running into trouble, and now a chance here for Millwall to go on the counter-attack. Here is Benny Kafobe, stopped on the halfway line, shoulder to shoulder, says the referee there. Christian Pedersen brought him down. Well, I don't know if Pedersen, if that had been given as a foul, would that have been a second yellow for Pedersen? Probably not. I do think that it was probably a fair fight for the ball there, especially now that referees have been told to just allow a bit more of the physicality to go. They always did in the EFL anyway, compared to, say, the Premier League, but now even more so. Birmingham just seeing more of the ball inside the Millwall half now, as it's with Bella down the left-hand side. He plays it back towards McGree. McGree chips it back to Bella on the left-hand side, but he's still being marshalled there by Dan McNamara. As Bella runs into McNamara, he wants a free kick. He's never going to get a free kick for that. He played the ball into space and then ran into the back of McNamara and says, well, he's obstructing me, but didn't give McNamara a split second to even get out of the way. And now here come Birmingham again down the left with a ball in from McGree. Charged down though just at the edge of the area by Sean Hutchison, and it's out for a corner kick to Birmingham down the left-hand side. Up to 30 minutes gone. Independent off-tube studio commentary. Still Millwall 1, Birmingham City 0. Scored after a very bright start for Millwall. It was Murray Wallace finishing from close range inside the box after a short corner routine. Ball now floated towards the edge of the 6-yard box, headed up in the air by Deeney. Second ball drops straight through towards Murray Wallace, and he heads that out easily. Ball now pumped back in towards the edge of the penalty area. McNamara with a header away. Loose ball now, it almost gets through towards McGree, but then it's cleared back up towards the halfway line, where Bella was back there trying to cover for Birmingham. Afobe, though, gets his body in the way and keeps the ball alive here now for Millwall, but he tries to do a step over. Bit of trickery there from Afobe, doesn't pay off, he loses the ball, and now McGree plays an early one down the left-hand side for Scott Hogan. Hogan has got Deeney inside the box, he breaks into the box himself and tries an effort. The strike from Hogan, though, is straight into the hands of goalkeeper Białkowski. And the Polish goalkeeper now will be able to clear his lines. It was a good bit of work there from Hogan down the left. I do think that maybe he could have just tried to find Deeney, because the effort was quite a tame one in the end. Now a ball played down the left-hand side, one here for Jed Wallace to chase, but Etheridge comes out quickly and makes a good save. It's ball now back over with Dion Sanderson down the right-hand side, back into Mark Roberts. He's looking for options left and right. In the end, just decides to pump it long down the right-hand side. One here for Jordan James to chase. He does really well to keep the ball alive, James, and then he tries to just play it away from Jake Cooper and just lost his balance at the crucial time. The initial control and to use his body to try and keep the move alive there for Birmingham was excellent, but here comes Christian Pennison now stepping forward, and he tries a shot from 25 yards, which is charged down for a throw, and a frustrated Birmingham captain there, Troy Deeney, just look back at his teammate there, as if to say, well, there's so many of us pushing forward. Really, this probably isn't the best. It probably isn't the best option to try and shoot from that sort of range. But at least it's a throw on to Birmingham. Still close to the Millwall penalty area here, down the left-hand side. A few options here. Looks like it's going to be launched long. There's 2 Birmingham players waiting at the edge of the area and 6 waiting inside the box. And it's Mark Roberts who is Birmingham's long throw specialist. The limbering up here now, sends a long ball into the box, just over the head of Deeney. It's headed up in the air, heading back towards goal. Białkowski, though, comfortably, two-handed save there. And waiting to clear this quickly, but a few too many Millwall and Birmingham players still hanging around inside his box. We're just going to wait to see if it's worth rolling this out or clearing it long. Just looking at the way he's beckoning his teammates forward, I get the impression that he's going to want to play this one long. He does, looking for Afobe. Sanderson gets his body in the way of that, and Sunic's clearance goes straight through towards George Evans. And now a chance, though, for Birmingham City to break out as the ball goes over the top here from Deeney towards McGree. Back to Deeney, referee playing the advantage as there was a foul on McGree. Deeney's ball in for Hogan. Hogan slides in, he's going to win his side a corner. Consolation prize there for Birmingham City. Good play this time from Deeney, just playing a little bit deeper. Inside the corner. Slowly but surely now, everybody arriving inside the penalty area to see whether this is going to be Jordan Graham with the cross. He's been doing most of the set pieces for Birmingham in this game so far. Deeney, Sanderson, Roberts, Pedersen and Hogan all waiting inside the 6-yard box. More Birmingham players waiting at the edge of the area as Jordan James has arrived as well. It is an outswinger from Graham towards the edge of the 6-yard box. It's an attempted header there. I think it's Mark Roberts that's got his head to that. But it goes over the bar. Doesn't threaten the goal in the end. Chance here now for Millwall to restart play. Overall, we'll be pretty pleased with the way his side have started the game. I don't think he'll be too thrilled about the last 7 to 10 minutes, although his side have done well to soak up pressure. There's not been a dangerous effort on Białkowski's goal, but the fact is there is more happening in front of Białkowski's goal now compared to what we saw in those first 25 minutes. And a long clearance from him now back towards the halfway line, over the halfway line in fact, headed on by Afobe. Loose ball drops to Malone. He heads it forward. It just gets away from Sanderson. There's probably going to be a free kick for Birmingham City there as well, which they'll be grateful for because there was just a long clearance there from Roberts, which probably would have gone straight back to a Millwall player anyway. But McGree was brought down, Referee Andy Woolmer saw there was no advantage, so a free kick to Birmingham just inside their own half. Troy Deeney just having a quick word there with Ivan Sunjic. Deeney looks a little bit frustrated. He's Birmingham City captain, lifelong Birmingham City fan. Comes back to the arrives at Birmingham having had all those years at Watford. So you know what you get with Troy Deeney in terms of his goals. Record goal scorer for Watford. His side so far in this game haven't shown too much, although in fairness the second half of the first half so far looks a little bit better for Birmingham than the first 20 odd minutes did. We're now just looking a bit more frustrated. Is actually Sean Hutchison just beckoning for a couple of his teammates to drop a little bit closer to him so we can take this throw down the right hand side. It's cleared over the top now by McNamara. Back into Birmingham City possession. Long ball is cut out immediately by Jake Cooper. And now it's Millwall once again just slowing things down on the halfway line. A long ball now from Murray Wallace, the goal scorer. Looking for the run of Tom Bradshaw, who's brought down at the edge of the area. Well, at least he goes down at the edge of the area. Bradshaw feels as though that was a foul. Referee Andy Woolmer doesn't agree. Yeah, well, I can see the argument there from Bradshaw that he was that Sanderson does bump into him. Having said that, though, my argument would be that I think he was already falling anyway as he was trying to get on the end of that. So, in any case, the referee doesn't give a free kick Millwall's way. It's just a throw to Birmingham. We've had 3 shots on target in the game so far, 2 from Millwall, 1 from Birmingham, so they're not spoiling us in terms of efforts on target. But it has been an interesting game. It has flown by fairly quickly. I think that the first 20 minutes much better for Millwall, and Birmingham responding now as Millwall trying to get on the attack down the left here between ball between Evans and Malone. Just a bit too long there for Scott Malone. So visitors can restart play here down the right hand side. It is Mark Roberts to launch this as far forward as possible. His throat cut out there by the header Jed Wallace. There's a bit of a fight for it in midfield before eventually the ball is played up towards Tom Bradshaw. Good header away by Sanderson. Hogan then tries to head the ball into the path of Jordan James. He misses the ball though. It's played back towards the Birmingham penalty area, cleared once by Roberts and once by Sanderson. Once again the ball coming back towards the Birmingham City penalty area. This time the visitors deal with it in the form of Ivan Sunjic. Sunjic then to Deeney. Short ball into Jordan James. A bit of pressure goes back towards Jordan Graham, and then his ball in towards Deeney in midfield. He's brought down by George Evans. Although he's shaking his head like he can't believe it, I'm sure he's got too many arguments to disagree with this particular free kick. It looked as though Deeney was tripped there as he tried to go after the ball. So a free kick to Birmingham City. Still quite a long way out from goal, and Deeney just hobbling a little bit as he gets back to his feet to see whether or not there's anything more serious with that one. Just having a quick word there with George Evans as well. Evans trots back towards the edge of his own box. Some defending to do here with this Birmingham City free kick. It is going to be floated in by Jordan Graham. It really is floated in, a measured ball into the box. Good header away inside the penalty area by Hutchison, and in the meantime, a bit of pushing and shoving in the midst of all that as well. So no, nothing doing from that free kick for Birmingham. It's going to be a free kick to Millwall now. Wallace just having a quick word with a few of his teammates. We're going to see another replay of the goal now, and it was Evans' effort initially seemed to be stopped by Hutchison inside the 6-yard box, but Murray Wallace quickest to react there to get on the end of that one. And ball now with goalkeeper Miałkowski. Played down the left-hand side, headed forward by Jordan Graham. Bit of a fight now in midfield for it, but eventually it is Sam Hutchison that brings the ball away from Millwall, looking to try and play in Jed Wallace. He gets stopped, but the loose ball's been won back here by Billy Mitchell. Then he plays it down the left for Afobe, whose pass is stopped by Sanderson. Chasing that one all the way to the line was Jordan Graham, but he won't get there in time. And it's played all the way out for a corner. Chance now to try and get into the penalty area once again. It's with Malone down the left. What's happened here as Hutchison, Cooper and Murray Wallace all arrive inside the penalty area. Evans is there already. Birmingham did concede from a corner already. It's going to be Malone now with the ball from the left-hand side. Lifts it to the 6-yard ball. What a bullet header that is! Millwall take a 2-goal lead on 41 minutes, and it's Tom Bradshaw with the goal. It's a bullet header from the corner, and this is not good from Birmingham. They're susceptible at set pieces. They conceded after a short corner routine at the start of the game, and now 5 minutes before half-time they've conceded with a far more, if you like, a classical move, just a ball whipped into the 6-yard box and a powerful header. You've got to say that it really is a very good header as well from Tom Bradshaw, justifying that number 9 he's got on the back of his shirt with that header. And Etheridge doesn't move. There's nothing he can do with this one. There's a lot of activity in front of him, and nobody really ever got close to marking Tom Bradshaw. There's sort of looks of, well, you should have had him from all the Birmingham players once Bradshaw peels away to celebrate. It's a 2-0 lead now for Millwall with just a few minutes to go until half-time. It's Lee Bowyer. You know that he can be a bit of a fiery character. I think he's probably toned down a little bit during his management days compared to his playing days, but I still wouldn't like to be in the dressing room with having played the way that Birmingham have played for most of this first half. They have. I mean, not to labour the point, they have certainly stepped up since the first 20 minutes. They've seen more of the ball, but now with that second goal conceded, looks like it could be a long afternoon here for Lee Bowyer's side. Gary Rowett is very pleased with the way his side have approached this game. 2-0 lead now just before half-time. There's a foul throw there from Scott Malone. No, the ball just went out for a throw. Be taken now by Jordan Graham. To take the throw. Gets the ball into midfield for Deeney, out towards the left-hand side. Jeremy Bella under pressure. To go back towards Pedersen. Pedersen just working back towards the edge of his own box. Towards the halfway line. Back into the Birmingham half, out for a throw. It's just slowed down in the last couple of minutes, but certainly from Birmingham's point of view, they've got to try and come out in the second half and have a little bit more of a plan in terms of how to get forward, because they've just not troubled the Millwall defence for long enough. And now, of course, with a 2-goal deficit, got to try and come up with something as the ball is played down the left here. Afobe is chasing it, so is Sanderson, but Afobe gets there first, gets his body in the way, then the ball squirms away from him, and it's Sanderson now fighting to keep it alive here for Birmingham. Clears it down the right, but it goes straight to Scott Malone, who miscontrols it slightly, but the ball's still alive here for Millwall inside the Birmingham half. Malone going back towards Murray Wallace. Wallace inside now, finds Evans out towards Afobe. He's only got Bradshaw inside the box, lays it off to Malone. He then holds it up himself, waiting for more players to arrive. Puts a cross in, which is just a bit too high. McNamara keeps it alive down the right. He heads it back towards Jed Wallace. It's Dan McNamara again. Going back towards Billy Mitchell. Space here down the right-hand side to get this ball into the box. Cross comes in, it gets a big deflection, and worry for Birmingham, because this is going to be another Millwall corner. So Millwall have certainly looked very impressive from set pieces in this game. To see now how this one is taken. So the Birmingham have spread out across their penalty area now. Players waiting inside the 6-yard box, a few more waiting at the edge as well, just in case there is going to be some sort of routine. It's just going to be a ball whipped in by Malone, though, towards the edge of the 6-yard box. Pedersen with the initial header. Ball then brought out by Jordan James, but he then runs straight into trouble. The referee, I think, has played an advantage, or at least he doesn't believe there's enough of an injury there to stop play. Ball now back with Millwall anyway here with Sean Hutchison out towards Murray Wallace. Now towards Mitchell. His ball towards the edge of the area is cleared back towards Afobe. I mean, Afobe's ball isn't particularly good at all. It easily picked off by Riley McGree. Finds Troy Deeney. This is still inside the Birmingham half. That's how deep Deeney's having to drop here just to keep his side's possession moving. Here comes McGree now, running towards the edge of the area. Thought about shooting twice, decides just to lay it off towards Jeremy Bella. Then Bella lifts the ball into the penalty area, drops to Hogan. Deeney with the strike, and that's charged down, but that's certainly the closest that Birmingham have come. A strike from Deeney, which looked like it could have been on target, but it was charged down just in front of the 6-yard box. Ball's now out of play. We're into 2 minutes of injury time at the end of the first half here at the New Den. Independent off-tube studio commentary. Millwall leading 2-0 against Birmingham. But Birmingham on the attack now with the Sunjic down the right. His cross in just a little bit too high there for Deeney. The ball then cleared away, but it's Mark Roberts who heads it back down towards the right-hand side for Jordan Graham. Graham there under pressure from Malone. Takes him on for pace, puts a cross in. Malone charges it down, and that is out for a corner kick to Birmingham City down the right-hand side. Less than a minute to go here. The visitors have a set piece. They've certainly had some problems caused in front of their own goal with the Millwall corners. Let's see what Birmingham can do here. It's going to be a right-footed outswinger from Jordan Graham. It's a little bit too short at the near post. It drops to Bella, who rushes his shot, and in the end it goes a long way wide. I think there was probably some intention there from Graham just to put a cross in, which was a little bit short. I think he was looking for his teammate. He was dealt with, but then Bella made his mind up very quickly that he was going to be shooting, and he was completely off balance, no chance to do anything with that. Białkowski waiting to restart play. I can tell you that it's in other games, it's half-time at Ewood Park. Blackburn 0, Preston 0. Barnsley 1, Huddersfield 1. Barnsley have just equalised. Blackpool 0, Luton 1. Bristol City 1, Derby 0. Cardiff 1, Sheffield United 0. Middlesbrough 1, Swansea 0. Nottingham Forest 0, Peterborough 0. And Hull City 1. Reading 1, Hull City 0 is the half-time score there. In this game, the referee has just blown for half-time at the New Den, where Millwall lead against Birmingham City by 2-0, and I'll be back in 15 minutes for second half of Tube Studio commentary.